Hey, what's up, everybody? So I wanted to share with you and talk about an article that I just read regarding the change of start times for middle school students and high school students. I have talked about the importance of sleep on this channel, this being a health and fitness channel, and even though I haven't been in school for many, many years, and I'm sure a lot of my subscribers have not either. I did want to get your guys and gals' opinion on this because I can kind of see two sides of the spectrum and would love to get your opinion. So anyway, a new law by Governor Gavin Newsom, he's our governor of California. He signed a bill recently that forbids California middle schools from ringing the opening bell before 8 a.m., meaning the middle schools cannot start before 8 a.m. and prohibits high school students from starting class before 8:30. And schools must adopt this new law before July 1st of 2022, excuse me. And there's a state senator, Anthony Portantino, who wrote the law, said that Senate Bill 328 is based on indisputable science that shows when students are healthier and happier when they get to sleep in a little bit later. He also said, Portantino said, this is a public health bill that has a positive academic outcome, excuse me. The overwhelming benefit to the health and welfare of children demands that we make those changes. The American Academy of Sleep and Medicine recommends that teenagers get 8 to 10 hours of sleep per night, according to a 2016 research paper. And a lack of sleep is linked to increased accident risk, injuries, obesity, diabetes, depression, and suicidal thoughts and attempts. The American Academy of Pediatrics research in 2014 further argues that delayed start times lead to improved grades, higher attendance, and increased energy during the school day. And I don't want to read the whole thing. And Portantino keeps saying that when productivity goes up, because the suspensions will go down, disruptive behavior will go down, tardies will go down, violent behavior goes down. What it comes down to is a reluctance for adults to change. So he's kind of just say the people that are against it, in particular some of the adults, he's saying they're the ones with the problems, but he's stating that look at all the positive benefits by starting class later. So it just it talks about just pretty much the, everything what I just mentioned. So that's just the gist of it. So here's the thing. After reading this article, I had to really formulate my thoughts and think about this objectively. Now, the article didn't disclose the actual studies that they were, the research that they were referencing, which would have been nice, but I would assume to believe that these research papers from the Academy of Sleep Medicine does have validity. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that getting more sleep, you don't need to read a research paper to know that when you get better sleep, you feel better. I mean, me being a parent with a newborn, trust me, the lack of sleep definitely jacks you up mentally, physically, emotionally, everything, the whole 9 yards. I totally get that. But we need to look at this from a practical standpoint. The state senator, what's his name? The state senator, Anthony Portantino, I think he's kind of jumping the gun a little bit too much. He makes it sound like just because the start times for school are going to be later, that it's going to be this magic wand that's going to come across and all the problems are going to go away. He states the amount of tardies are going to go down, the productivity will go up, kids are going to be more alert, everything's just going to be perfect. And although I hope that he is, I know he's hoping for the best, I think it's a little bit short-sighted because there's certain things that you can't control, such as, yes, you can control changing the start time from 8 o'clock to 8:30 in the morning, but you can't control how late these kids are going to sleep. So if a kid's used to sleeping at 10:30 p.m. and they come into school sleep deprived, knowing that they can sleep in even more, what makes you think they're going to go to sleep at a normal time? They might still sleep later, wake up later, and then still be sleep deprived. So it kind of remains to be seen. Hopefully they can track data after this law gets put into effect from multiple schools and students and see if productivity actually has increased, see if there has been a positive impact by starting school later. The other challenge that can occur is, at least for me in Oregon, California, you have to get your own ride to school, and if parents their work schedules typically are, for the most part, are pretty consistent, and a lot of times parents start work at a different time. So even if you change the start time for your daughter or your son, it's possible that these parents might still have to drop off their kids earlier just so they can get to work on time. So even though you might start school at 8:30, drop off your kid at 8:30 in the morning as opposed to 8 o'clock, if your parent has to get to work at a certain time, that kid might get dropped off at 7:30. You have to sit there for an hour and he might be completely tired anyway. So there's a lot of things that Portantino just, he's kind of not really exploring. The other solution that you could do is you could leave the start times as is, and maybe it just comes down to kids needing to be more disciplined and they need to go to bed earlier. Now this can be challenging. Me being a student athlete in high school, a lot of times, especially during wrestling season, I'd finish practice from 3 o'clock to 6 p.m. give or take. I'd get home about 6:15 to 6:30, take a shower, eat, and it'd be past 7, and then I would do homework. So I can see how it can be a time crunch, and it can be hard to go to sleep because there have been many days where I was very, very tired. So, that can be challenging to just tell a kid to go to bed earlier. So anyways, let me know your guys and gals' thoughts. I think this is a nice gesture to implement this law, but I'm not sure if this was 100% needed, and it remains to be seen if this is going to have truly a positive effect on kids' academic performance. The other thing I want to say before I depart is school is supposed to be a prerequisite for college for the real world. And in the real world, unless you work for yourself, for the most part, if you're in corporate America, it's like too bad if you're at a certain job and your employer wants you to start at 6 a.m. and you can't just go, well, in high school we used to just extend the time. That's not going to happen. Your boss is not going to allow that unless you have a really cool boss and you're flexible and they have a flexible schedule. It's just not happening. So this can kind of lower expectations for kids. Now, of course, you want your kids to succeed and put them in the best position possible, but there has to be a fine line between putting them in the best position to succeed and doing too much for them and accommodating them too much. So anyways, that's my time. Let me know what your guys and gals' thoughts are. When I started school, and I think in high school, I think we started around, I think it was like 8 o'clock from what I remember, 8 to like 3 p.m. That's my time. Thanks for watching, and let me know your guys and gals' thoughts. Catch you in the next one. Bye.